What's good everybody, it's Treese, and the NBA preseason is way too early to determine whether rookies are going to have bright futures in the NBA or if they're going to become eventual busts in the league. However, there are a few signs of potential from both ends of the spectrum that we can notice with these early games, and although in no way do I believe after watching these few preseason games that certain young players will become stars or busts, this video will bring to you 3 NBA rookies that look like stars and 3 NBA rookies that look a little bit like busts. And before we get into it, I would just like to say that you should definitely subscribe to this channel. I mean, you're already here and you could always unsubscribe if you don't like my videos. So just subscribe now and make sure to like the video if you are even more awesome. And with that said, let's get into it. And the first player that I gotta say looks like a star is LaMelo Ball. Now, LaMelo came in and scored 0 points in his NBA debut, and that game had a lot of folks saying that he's going to be an inefficient backup point guard and nothing better in the NBA. But I would argue that LaMelo is going to be an inefficient player, but he will be a young star even with that inefficiency until he refines his rust around his offensive game. But going in, if you genuinely believe that LaMelo Ball was going to become a 20-point per game scorer who could drop buckets on a 45, 38, 80 efficiency, then you were simply misled about him. LaMelo is being made out by a lot of people to come in and be a franchise-changing player day one. But in reality, it's going to take him quite a while, but everything about his game that we were told he is good at has come true on the NBA level so far. The amazing court vision, the spectacular handles, the wonderful pace control of the game, it all seems like it's coming true right in front of our eyes. Throughout 3 games, Melo is averaging 10 points per game, 5 rebounds, and nearly 4 assists, though his 31% efficiency from the floor and 33% from deep is a bit concerning. I'll say it again, these types of stretches we should expect from LaMelo Ball. I predict his field goal percentage to be below 40% throughout his rookie year, and his 3-point percentage may not even reach the 30% club. Despite all this, LaMelo will shoot even if his shots aren't going in, and this is one of the main reasons why he will improve and his efficiency will rise gradually throughout the years. And an efficient scoring 6'8" point guard who can also do just about everything else but play intense defense, I mean, sign me up for stardom. And the first player I'm a little bit concerned about busting is Killian Hayes, and I want to be super clear here, it's just a preseason, this video is not super serious, so calm down a little bit. But throughout 3 games thus far, Killian is putting up less than 7 points per game on horrendous efficiency all across the board, and this was one of my biggest things about Killian coming into the NBA. He was not going to be an immediate impact guy, and typically I'm a proponent of start your early lottery pick or else they won't develop, but I honestly think that Killian Hayes might be suited best coming off the bench and learning from Derrick Rose, an experienced vet with much to offer Killian in terms of knowledge. But as I was saying, Killian won't be a star day one, but the hope of a guy like him is that a few years down the line, he will be that ultra talented point guard who can honestly lead a team as the best offensive player because the potential is there. And there is a reason as to why so many such as myself believed and still do believe that he should have been picked much higher than he was. And although I put him in the bust category, I guess this just goes to show how misleading preseason action can be at times, because Killian is one of those guys that might be considered a bust for 2 or even 3 years in the league, but finally once he has adjusted to the pace of the NBA, he's got next. Onto a player looking like a star in the making has got to be Isaac Okoro. Before Okoro was drafted, I was pretty harsh on him. I remember thinking that he could very well be another case of a Stanley Johnson type player, and though I was concerned about him, I knew that there was a lot about his game that could translate to the next level. With guys like Stanley Johnson, they were never really adjusted to the emotional aspect of the NBA, but thus far, Isaac Okoro looks every bit of what makes an NBA star when it comes to his demeanor. Not only is he performing to the defensive standards that we expected from him coming out of college, but he's also doing his thing on the offensive end of the court as well. He scored a game winner in his very first game, and throughout 4 games so far, he's averaging 11 points per game and scoring efficiently from both the floor and from the 3-point line. The 11 points per game don't look amazing, but if he could do that during his rookie year and do what we expected from him on the other end of the court and improve on his offensive game year by year, then we could honestly be looking at a star in the making with Isaac Okoro. The player who is so far looking a bit like a bust is Anthony Edwards. Now, I've already made 2 videos on Anthony Edwards, and each of them have negative connotations surrounding them, but I've said it before and I'll say it again, I'm still really high on Anthony Edwards, and I truly believe that there is a case where he turns into a superstar over in Minnesota, but I gotta call it how I see it. So far, he's not looking all that great. Now, he is scoring 11 points per game, but some of those shots that he's taking is proving what many were skeptical about him coming in. His basketball IQ and shot selection are both very questionable, and thankfully the latter often comes with age and experience, but basketball IQ is something that you're usually born with. Maybe he's a bit uncomfortable out there already, and I'm sure he is nervous given all the expectations that are on his back, but his efficiency is so horrendous, and though he has shown signs of potential playmaking skills, he doesn't look like the full package that many guaranteed us that we would see just a few months ago. Again, it is just a preseason, and Edwards is still very young, but let's hope that he polishes up his game as the regular season comes by. And the next player who's looking like a potential star is actually Théo Maledon, who oddly enough was supposed to be the second best French point guard in this class behind Killian Hayes, but so far, Théo looks a little bit more calm and collected on the court. Now, Maledon is an experienced pro hooper who saw serious minutes in the EuroLeague, and that's very impressive given his age and position, but Maledon has only played 2 games so far in the preseason, but his near 16 points per game on good efficiency is making me believe that the Thunder are going to find themselves another great point guard right after shipping away 2 of them. I thought the world of Maledon coming out of France. He was a playmaking and reserve leader who kind of leads the court as a floor general, a type of guy that any NBA team wants. I genuinely feel that at his worst, Théo Maledon is going to be a really solid backup point guard, but with the way that he is playing, star potential is oozing out of this early 2nd round pick. And the next player who looks like he's about to bust is Obi Toppin. If you're a Knicks fan, I'm sorry. I've been very hateful towards your team throughout the past several weeks, but deep inside me, I really want the Knicks to do well. It's a shame seeing such a massive market organization fail year after year with their draft picks. Obi Toppin was supposed to be this guy who would come in on day 1 and contribute. We were told that there was no learning curve with him, and a bad stretch of 3 games won't define his entire rookie season, but 7 points per game on terrible efficiency for a big man is not a good look. The guy is shooting less than 10% from deep and less than 40% from the floor, despite being an around the paint scorer. And add this to the fact that his defense is not good at all and most likely will never really get much better, and Toppin might be yet another Knicks bust. However, give him some time. We haven't seen anything but the surface level of his game, and it could